Would you be interested in a micro Tacoma? A few things to consider. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So would you be interested in a micro Tacoma? You know, I've been thinking about this myself. There are a lot of new entries out there, and there are a few what I will call micro trucks. And you know, one of the most successful examples of it, I think, is the Ford Maverick. Ford is doing so well with their new Maverick micro truck that they've had to halt orders on it because they just can't keep up. So I think Toyota might have to take note of this. You know, there's a lot of competition out there right now in the mid-size truck market anyway. And I think the micro truck is just another little niche that Toyota might consider jumping into just to expand their whole brand. Now, what is there to consider with the micro truck? What are the advantages of it? Well, number one is fit. They are still a truck, they're still capable, they still have a back bed area to haul all the dirty bits and stuff, but they're smaller, their footprint is smaller, they fit better. One of the problems I have with trucks anyway is they don't fit in the garage. A lot of garages anyhow. I had one before where I couldn't put my truck inside. That's a drag. Not a problem with a micro truck. That should fit in any garage. And what about those tight parking areas? You know, the mall, the Walmarts, all those places you go where everything is so small these days, much easier to maneuver around in parking lots where now big trucks are kind of a pain. Number two, pricing. You know, pricing is going nuts right now anyway. And these micro trucks, while not hugely less expensive, are less expensive. You can get a pretty well outfitted micro truck for less money than you can get a full mid-size regular truck. So you might save a few bucks and still have a lot of the capability that you have with just your normal truck. Number three, fuel economy. You know, that elephant in the room that everybody seems to be talking about that nobody wants to talk about because it's a truck. These micro trucks get better fuel economy. It's a way to ease your pocket a little bit, but still have, again, the capability as far as hauling things and stuff with a truck. Now, they're really designed more as a suburban vehicle, I think. But honestly, only a small percentage of people that actually buy trucks use them as trucks anyway. You may not like it, but that's the way that it is. So there's a huge market out there for people to buy trucks and get better fuel economy. Number four, versatility. You know, I mentioned trucks aren't really used much anymore as trucks. Not to say that nobody does. Of course, there are people that do. But overall, they're more of a suburban vehicle these days. But they're still versatile. Again, it has the bed on the back. You can put all the dirty bits. You know, if you're going to the Lowe's or somewhere, maybe the Home Depot, picking up some mulch or maybe some plants or something like that to plant around the house, you can throw them in the back of one of these micro trucks. And by the way, there's still a 4-door, 4 or 5 passenger seater. So you can still haul all the people inside and put all the junk in the back. Put a tonneau cover on it. You can throw your luggage in there, take a cross-country trip, not have to spend a fortune in gas to do it, still be comfortable and still be versatile enough to use it as a truck. Number five, drivability. You know, I mentioned earlier about they fit everywhere. It just makes them easier to drive. I know there are a lot of people out there who are reluctant to buy trucks because they are bigger. Now, the Tacoma in this example is not a huge truck, but it's still bigger than, say, a Toyota Prius or a Honda Civic. I think Toyota could increase their market share by offering a smaller footprint vehicle that's just easier to drive. Fits everywhere, easier to handle, much better in the parking lots, and you can throw it in your garage so you don't have to go out in the mornings and scrape all that stuff off your windows. Number 6, competition. You know, I don't think Toyota can just sit back and ignore it. You know, they do have the #1 mid-size selling truck now, but you have to believe that as these micro trucks enter the market, they're each going to take a little bit of bite out of the Tacoma. So the sales are going to come down a little bit. I think if Toyota wants to stay in the game, they need to look at entering this market as well, because the competition is growing. Again, I'll go back to the Ford Maverick. You know, there was a report about a week ago or so that they're doing so well with that truck, which honestly I find kind of hard to believe. I'll tell you a quick story. You know, when I was a little shaver, about this tall, we had a Ford Maverick. My family did. It was red, it was rusted, had an 8-track tape player in it. It was a horrible car. It ran about half the time. So it always amazes me that Toyota came out with their new truck, their new micro truck, and they're calling it a Ford Maverick, because the Maverick didn't leave a very good taste in my mouth from when I was little. I remember the parents having to hassle with that car. Who knows why they call it that? I guess they already had a patent on the name. It cost less money and it was available. But anyway, I do think that Toyota needs to take a serious look at this. And there's not like they need to do a lot. I think you could take the Tacoma, shrink it down. In other words, go back to where it once was. They had a really hot looking truck back in the day. What's wrong with pulling those designs off the shelf, dusting them off, and starting up with a micro truck, Toyota Tacoma? They could call it the Tacoma Mini. I don't know, kind of a corny name. But I do think they need to pay attention to that. The competition is too strong out there, and they can't just turn their backs and hope that nobody's going to buy them, because that's obviously not happening. So anyway, I'm curious. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Would you be interested in a micro Tacoma? You know, there's another one out there as well. It's the Hyundai, I think they call it a Cruise, Santa Cruz, something like that. Not a horrible looking truck, but I gotta say, it's very polarizing. It's kind of like the Jeep Gladiator. You either love it or you hate it. I showed it to my mom the other day because I thought she might be interested in something like that. She didn't like it. She said it was ugly. So anyway, leave a comment. Let me know. Would you be interested in a micro Tacoma? I'd be curious. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive FST, all about full-size trucks, including the new Ram I just bought about 2 months ago. And RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay warm out there. Bye.